Hello and welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here and we are live. Little EGFC, that is the Electronic Gaming Federation collegiate side, coming on and at you. Overwatch here today, Sir Waltham.
Yeah, some exciting Overwatch between Canisius and St. Peter's. Definitely excited for these two teams to get going at it. So far, these teams have not necessarily had the greatest opportunity to get a really high score line just because of bye weeks, things like that here, Tug.
Absolutely. Both of these teams coming in and having a week one bye means we only have one match that's last week to here go off of. What we have, though, is what we'll now present. That is Canisius coming in a 0-1 scoreline. They did lose, the only match they have played in the EGFC so far here in week number 3 after a week 1 bye. And St. Peter's did win that. Now, both of those were sweeps as well. Yes, Canisius falling 0-3 to Siena College. St. Peter's University beating Iona College. Oh, no, excuse me. Sorry, I had this backwards. Canisius was a week 1 bye. St. Peter's was a week 2 bye. I was going to say, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if both of them were week 1 byes.
Yeah, either way, Tug, not too much time to talk about the history behind these two teams. They are itching and ripping to get at it. And just looking at these lineups, we're going to be going to that command center in the Lijiang Tower. Of course, that control style map going to be so powerful here. We're seeing the Ryan Zarya, so a little bit more brawly, perhaps coming out of St. Peter's, with the Diva coming in for Canisius on the other side.
Yeah, so looking at St. Peter's, little standard Ryan Zarya, throw in a Symmetra for flavor. Ratchet on the May. I love the May pick on control center. I literally always will. There you go. Now Ricardo switching on. That was just getting Ratchet out there a little bit faster, and I'm with it. Initial wall. Bubble invested. Not a whole lot of damage that's going to block away, but that is A-okay. Now add back to it. Special K getting super low right here. Now looking for damage in edgewise is Ratchet. Punch in and more. And Upstate Stew 8. Be taken out right there. The first victim in this brawl. Sellout squad, likewise, getting very aggressive. So both teams losing their main tank first. St. Peter's rotating on a point with a couple members and are going to take this and a few ticks to start this off with, Sir Waltham.
Yeah, an excellent performance there by St. Peter's, and you mentioned it, Tug. The opportunity coming through real big in the form of Ratchet on that May. Sectioning off the other team means they can't get as good a position as they want.
So that is what it is all about at this point. Now on board with Ricardo, St. Peter's mostly dumbing out here. And now that's a wall that actually kind of blocks out this Doomfist and just completely negates this from the fight. Obviously not intentional by any means, Sir Waltham, but still had a negative effect nonetheless.
Yeah, I like to call that a little bit of the anti-synergy coming through there. It could be intentional, it could be unintentional, but in that opportunity, Ricardo just not able to work with their May too excellently, though. A lot of ultimates going to be coming online for St. Peter's. Definitely something Canisius is going to have to keep eyes out for. Ricardo has this Meteor Strike just to try to get away. He's going to do exactly that.
Oh, actually finding a Pharah up top. Talk about going bird hunting and just shooting scatter shot up in the sky and actually hitting something. Love to see it. Makes connection. Not exactly like pixel walking on the outside right there, but basically.
Yeah, so far, excellent. And that's going to mean that Flicka now has to spend a little bit more time getting back to spawn. Canisius are going to have this high ground, but they'll still be members down by the time they're able to fully take advantage of it. That May wall going to be blocking them off for just a moment more.
It's going to be a grab to the top, and not a whole lot of effect coming in through there. Yes, Ghost fell down bottom and fell to both Mech and Baby Diva form. Now just maybe a little bit of, not like panic ulting here, but with 75 seconds, I can guarantee you they would have liked that Coalescence coming in to about 85% now, especially with members of Canisius on the run.
Yeah, Upstate Stu going to be regretting that Earth Shatter from high. You always want to minimize your risk when you're playing Reinhardt in that way, and just giving them a 5-second reaction time is not it, but already the brawl going underway.
Yeah, that's actually Hunter being felled, the main support here for St. Peter's as well. Gonna have to rely on health packs and a Lucio for heals in this last, but now frozen out. Melee Monster taken out of this one. Rotations in, little Baby Diva courageously holding on to this one. Death Blossom just gets picked and taken out of this garden. I don't know. Ghost getting felled at the end. This is just a little stagger action here at the end. This will be a 99-20 stomp. At least it should be. Lucio not getting it.
Lucio not going to be able to make it. And Ricardo getting that little extra bit of insurance just in case somebody holds out for long enough, sending their Doomfist up to the front with that Meteor Strike just to make sure that nothing tricky happens. As I speak of the man themselves. We're going to be seeing the replay of the, as you called it, Tug, the bird hunting here.
Yeah, this is just such great positioning and kind of realizing where it was. Yes, Flicka was low, but even so, like, not abandoning an ultimate like this one, especially given that it can be so hard to get a team that knows that it's coming in such a position where it has, like, any positive effect, and then it is a gamble at that point, right? You put it in the middle of players, frequently you're not going to take kills, and then they're just going to turn around and immediately demolish you, right?
Now, as we look here, these teams going to be rolling out. Still the Reinhardt for Canisius. St. Peter's going to be going a little bit more of a fast comp. I like seeing that on these garden maps, the opportunity to just strike hard and fast.
Yes. Canisius coming in. This Lucio getting mega low. Not getting rid of this one. So that was Sellout Squad and Melee Monster with like 11 HP between the two of them. One of those is a tank. Not going to be able to last in Sign Paint. St. Peter's has lost this first team fight. Ratchet's gonna get damage in where they can, but this is not going to last.
Yeah, really the struggle there coming in from St. Peter's.
Ow.
When you're running these dives, you have to be selective about who you're targeting, and it just did not seem like it was there, especially with that Lucio.
Ricardo falling first, even after Ratchet's heroic efforts to get out of this one. Now, St. Peter's still fighting at this one. Nachos, minefield out, takes out an unsuspecting DPS and hit scan. Two different things there. Nachos rotating around, taking out and adding a Reinhardt to the chopping block right here. St. Peter's University not going to allow much more than 27%.
Yeah, and that's where we start to see how efficient that wrecking ball can be, especially when you have such a clustered point. You drop those mines, and you know the opposing team has to try to push onto them and try to get uncomfortable within those mines, and somebody's likely going to either take a lot of damage or, more ideally for you, die, exactly as we're seeing here. Not just continuing to chase down Upstate, and that's going to be a rough start for Canisius.
21, 22%. Ratchet taking out their counterpart right here. Taking it to the bubble, and they're not going to like this result. Yeah, Canisius College has just been really swarmed every single time outside of this initial true neutral situation where they come in at this one, and just really have not found a way in edgewise. Look at these ultimates, though.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're seeing almost a full war chest coming in from Canisius. They have to use this opportunity to make something happen, but I struggle to think of exactly where they're going to try to focus their efforts. We might see the Reinhardt go in for an Earth Shatter, especially if they're able to crack this Winston barrier.
That's a great start right here, and Ricardo almost pays the price for this one, going Pharaoh hunting again, perhaps. Special K fell to a really just annoying wrecking ball right here, and those two adjectives may be a little bit redundant. Ricardo falling in the back, 65, 66%. St. Peter's gonna come out on top of this one that's at least 75, and that's if Canisius takes us right now.
Yeah, Canisius really look like they're struggling just to get any movement forward. We're seeing them get kill after kill, but just not quickly enough to really make this difference here. It's going to be Daddy Mixer finally taking down that Pharah, so the threat no longer in the sky, but still going to be very difficult. We're seeing St. Peter's not give them any space.
90% coming in here. Canisius still entirely glowing even after the switch from Flicka onto the Soldier 76. A few shots to try rocket or two. That's a big boop right there. Self-destruct as well, so tanks on both sides finding value on this one. Pulling out the tack visor and the high noon just for Ricardo to find the Cabeza Special K. Not ideal situations. Canisius dumped everything into that except for this immortality field. They're gonna need more than that in some coming team fight.
Yeah, that amplification is going to have to do some serious heavy lifting. Melee Monster not even going to be able to use it, though. That is a rough loss early on.
Yeah, Fire Strike onto that's a great investment from this Reinhardt early. Now the Tracer coming out. Ratchet is just picking through bones right now. Yeah, that's going to flip on over. If Canisius does not switch, they have a Tracer now that might be able to touch. Yeah, there's no way this Cowboy is. And that's going to be St. Peter's U taking this one, this first map, just first map, over Canisius College.
Yeah, so far, St. Peter's looking like the, I don't want to say significantly dominant team here, but that's kind of what it's proving to be, Tug. I mean, there's just not much that St. Peter's has seemed to be able to do that's really kind of put the footstops in here. either way, I mean, I always like to put in that disclaimer, that caveat, that Control tends to be played quite differently than the other maps we'll be seeing coming up here in a minute.
Geographically, just format of the game, everything in between. Just points don't move. Simply, they're simply different, and I don't think you can really use. Even though this was what a 99-0 and then 27-99 situation, I don't think that's going to be what we're going to be seeing coming into these next maps. Now, as far as those maps, those will be picked by the losers here. Lijiang, no, it's not. We have a map pool somewhere around here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Non-true. This week 1, week 2, week 3.
I actually have word here, Tug, that the next map is going to be at King's Row, so that hybrid map style going to be coming up here. And when I think King's Row, I think that the team that is able to use Reinhardt a little bit more proficiently is going to feel a little bit more at home here. And so far, I don't think that... I think that might be a good opportunity for St. Peter's to try to bridge the gap a little bit.
I'm with it. King's Row, Temple of Anubis will be our 2 CP map. Busan, little control action, or excuse me. Wait, yeah, the S control action coming in there at the end, and then Elias will be our tiebreaker if we get down to a 2v2 situation. Speaking on this last game a little bit more, I think Ricardo over in that Doomfist, definitely a player or a hero that can run rampant on King's Row. That's just going to be more of a coordinated situation. Again, on this control map, it's much more predictable where teams are going to go. You know, there's only a few different ways, only a few different lanes. But being able, like, unpredictability will challenge any Doomfist player, especially King's Row. This is a map that everybody's gotten to play 10,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the oldest maps we've seen in the game, so not a huge surprise here. We're not in it quite yet, Tugboat, don't worry. We're just revisiting a couple of highlights. But yeah, no, it's a map that's definitely very well known within the Overwatch community as a core. And I kind of start to wonder, you know, how can Canisius move forward and really flex the knowledge they've already kind of demonstrated up here, right? We saw St. Peter's during Command Center try to really take advantage of that high ground, and unfortunately I think they took the high ground, they just didn't quite know how to utilize it, or they weren't able to utilize it given Canisius's response to it. So I'm hopeful that we see that adaptation, or you know, if you're looking in a worst case scenario for St. Peter's, maybe Canisius just shows you how to do it a little bit better. You take notes and you have to carry it into your next games.
I'm with it. Sir Waltham, I've been desperately trying to message you on the Discord.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Just all due respect, I know it is spelled exactly like you're pronouncing it. I 100% agree with you, but it is Canisius. I have been informed many a time over the past season. Not like that, everybody wants their name pronounced correct.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. This is moving on in here. St. Peter's will be up 1-0 in the series. St. Peter's in the right in the red, Canisius College in the blue. We'll get that fixed for you just a little bit. 20 seconds. Talk to me about these team comps, please, sir.
Well, to no surprise, we're of course going to be seeing the Reinhardt here. One variant that we've been seeing kind of come through King's Row lately is, historically, we've seen that Reinhardt paired with the Zarya, but now teams are feeling a little bit more free to mix it up. As we can see, Canisius going to be coming in with the D.Va, perhaps a little bit more defensive, reactive play style, while Nacho's coming in on that Sigma. Going to be looking to provide a little bit more of that shield damage. And speaking of shield damage, Ratchet on the Bastion.
Yeah, so more of a centralized look here. Ratchet takes out one, Ratchet takes out two. No, they have not taken out the Mercy up top, but everything else has been deleted so far. Flicka, realizing this one, smart plays. This Reinhardt will probably bite the bullet from this. Got Bastion over here on top of Mundatu, if I remember the name right. Zenyatta's brother?
Mundata.
Mundata.
Yes.
Mundata, not a U on the end. Mundata, who was, like who was murdered here on King's Row, right? He was sniped by Widowmaker, right? Yeah,
absolutely. The classic Overwatch lore that was revealed 4 or 5 years ago and then hasn't really been seen since, but what has been seen is the aggression coming out of St. Peter's right now. We're just seeing them get all up into the face of their opponents, and they're not really letting up at all.
Yeah, no, they are not. This has been incredibly... I talked a little bit about Ricardo, what they're going to be forced to kind of reckon with coming in. This looks like a very performative and masterful change from one very movement-based DPS to another. And I think that speaks to the proficiency of this player by any means. Ricardo's still in the back line. Finally gets taken out after a coordination after the Sigma ultimate. And this is Canisius all up in the line, just straight up, not respecting any space whatsoever, and still moving point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing some supreme aggression here, and I mean, really, it's like the second point hasn't even been achieved here. It's going to be very difficult to, I guess, talk about what the methodology would be here for dealing with this Bastion. This team just does not look coordinated on the defense quite yet. I mean, you look at it just in the terms of Upstate kind of pushing ahead without the rest of their DPS, just brunting most of the damage into the shield, getting very little value for it.
I think that's Ratchet just sitting back and playing payload duties. No, excuse me. That's gonna be Hunter all the way back there. Yeah, this Bastion now joining everybody. Belt a little bit of shield, take a little bit of damage. I liked this Flicka change onto the Junkrat, but this has really not been able to unfold or get this going. Now Ricardo with not one but two, and the big tank as well. Ricardo looking for 4 now. Maybe erring on the side of caution on that one a little bit. A single flashbang in that one, and then gave Canisius the advantage coming into this that they do not want to lose.
Yeah, you really want to take the capitalization here. We're going to be seeing the defense come out all in one giant mass, trying to just get any sort of leverage. And Ratchet actually giving them a little bit of a reprieve here. They can force a lot of damage onto this Reinhardt without the Bastion being able to respond. That's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, now Ghost is focusing down damage, kind of picking targets in the back is Ratchet. Throughout all of this, there has been a res go through, and that's going to be enough. A 15-player kill streak for Ratchet. The St. Peter's University absolutely rolling right now.
Yeah, so far, no complaints coming through from this attacking team. That Bastion going to be finding them a boatload of benefit, I'd overall have to say. But again, there were a couple opportunities that the defense really could have taken an advantage. They could have, seen that Bastion back there, just continued playing in that blind spot. Be a little bit harder to contest the cart, but certainly not impossible just from lines of sight.
Yeah, a mobile Bastion on a payload so hard to deal with, but even that, it was stationed there towards the end. I like the angles that Ratchet was ended up taking here. And of course, we did see a Bastion on both sides, or on the offense, and the unique positioning, we'll call it, in the very, very beginning. Not against it whatsoever, and it's kind of just the mind reels think about hard counters to that when a squad like this just coordinates around a Bastion like that.
Yeah, I mean, the coordination, you said it is exactly primo for this team to really capitalize on. And the defensive side now is going to have to figure out exactly how they want to play this Bastion. There's no sim this time around, which oftentimes we'll see just so the Bastion can get that quick, rapid repositioning. But instead, they're going to opt for the Pharah as that second supplementary DPS. Trying to take to the skies, not a bad option. You can still distract from so many angles.
Right there to it, Ricardo positioning up, Min perfectly pocketing and around the Alderworth Hotel, so not even allowing shots to come in on this. But 2 hit scans invested for Canisius. They're really going to respect this Pharah up top. Trying to make it through his first choke point. That sign is definitely hard cover. It may not look like it all the time. It is. Almost a dead-on shot right in the head of Flicka right there. And then the back. There is no hiding from Ricardo.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ricardo just running these skies right now, and I think Flicka got a little bit too comfortable behind that assumed cover, and now with everybody just getting funneled into this hotel, it's going to be brutal to have to try to fight out of from Ricardo's point of view.
Yeah, just getting shots in everywhere here, splash damage, direct shots, everything else. This is Ricardo's world right now. And now Canisius College squad switching now to Special K onto the Echo. Not against this at all. Just try and copy what it is that they're doing. Ghost kind of holding onto that defense matrix for right now. Now Nachos on the flank, Sigma on the flank. Not sure I was going to call that one today.
And one thing that I think we're kind of seeing as being, I guess, symbolic of the performance from Canisius is that we're seeing Flicka just kind of stand still, try to sacrifice some of their mobility in, repositioning in order to land those more precise shots. And if it's what you have to do, you kind of can't argue a person for it, but it's gonna be a little bit of a deficit for the team.
I was gonna say, how did Upstate Stu just get out of that? Like,
Wow.
Through everything in the kitchen sink, between normal Sigma shots, the accretion from the bottom, like literally everything just went in right there against Upstate Stu. But hey, back to it. Ricardo now onto this Widowmaker as well. Sigma invested early. Nacho's there, and for the support of Sellout Squad down bottom. Now an Immortality Field later. St. Peter's University comes to the other side of this ultimate. Absolutely untouched. Another full 6. They're moving into this one soon. Got their support ultimates up. Now both invest at the same time for St. Peter's, and that was definitely what the doctor ordered here. Take out the main tank first. Melee Monster, Fallen Prey. The same kind of Flicka TTV issue that we saw earlier. Just thinking that she had the cover when you did not.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I want to say that this Bastion is being an essential part, but I mean, this tank play alone, as we're seeing, is just so aggressive. There's so much that's happening from every single member of St. Peter's right now. There's very little coping that Canisius are really trying to take advantage of.
No mech. There's a big shatter. Ratchet just outside it as well. Falling in the thick of things. The main tank for St. Peter's right now. Men will try and get this res up and does. So a full 6 back to it for St. Peter's. Between Nacho Sellout Squad's performance, Ricardo and Ratchet, the damage coming in from these two.
Oh no.
Got caught on the corner. Ratchet there, and Miniman has already invested that res earlier. Canisius definitely wants to coordinate on this one, get out quickly once Ghost gets back. There's no movement abilities for that Bastion.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be some real speed here, and I mean, we're seeing St. Peter's react to a deficiency with just severe unlimited aggression and finding it. Nacho's single-handedly taking the charge in that one.
Yeah, falling as well, so that's not 1 but 2 shield tanks down. Sellout Squad in the back. Here comes the shatter, and that's gonna stop every offensive push this Canisius College squad had garnered earlier. No more Bastion as well. Ratchet moving on over to the Soldier 76. That moving ability, those unlimited legs. And absolutely dusts his counterpart. Their counterpart.
Yeah, this just looks like a little bit of one-upsmanship coming in from St. Peter's right now. I mean, Canisius doesn't really seem like they know how they want to play, who they want to attack. They're just letting simple aggression overwhelm them. I mean, Canisius really struggling to even get out the spawn door in some of these fights. It's going to be an uphill battle for this third and potentially final map as we look ahead.
That third map again will be the Temple of Anubis, not the worst TCP map out there, but I think it's fair to say not an Overwatch 2 for a reason. Ratchet here. I mean, if I had to give a play of the game, I would just give it back to Ricardo for that for that Doomfist play up top earlier on Lee Jong. Just more methodical, really, on the side of St. Peter's University there for Kings Row. Really, not a whole lot to expand upon there.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a trouncing there on Kings Row, but as you said, Temple of Anubis, the opportunity for things to perhaps shuffle around a little bit, but we're going to be able to find that out after the break, folks, so make sure to stick around.
Hello and welcome back. Short break it was. We keep our promises here at the EGFC. Speaking of the EGFC, quick shout outs here to Aeon, our producer. Without them, we are just beautiful faces screaming about video games in our room. We do appreciate them because what they do is wizardry, like straight up wizardry. Almost caught the spray there, so I take back everything nice I just said. Shout out to EGF, shout out to Viking and Tyler as well. Without them, we wouldn't be able to cast. So I really appreciate that.
We all do. We all appreciate this show that we put on and we are allowed to put on. Fantastic performance coming out here. And now, as we pivot our attention here, Tug, towards Canisius College on this defense, the double shield coming up again. This is theoretically a very strong composition to be holding up on this high ground. I look forward to seeing St. Peter's response.
Pretty standard hold. Like they're not like chock full of snipers, so they're not going back up top, right? Like, and this is both a mobile and very non-mobile composition, right? Between the Roadhog, the Ana, but then also the Primal Raging Winston, and this is just an absolute run. My goodness. Ricardo, sellout squad, combining there between the Ratchet. Pressure up top, all shall fall before St. Peter's.
I mean, in St. Peter's, kind of just taking advantage of the weakness they've seen from Canisius. Canisius very slow to react to something, so if you go with a fast composition, they're going to be a little bit shaky in the knees. We're going to see some swaps coming out with Zarya finally, but it looks like it might be too late.
Yeah, this is a snowball that has turned into an avalanche here, Waltham. My goodness, it's about as bad as it gets here. At least it will be short. I say that like almost memeing, but I really want Canisius to come back at this, but that was just on paper the worst performance they've shown across these three maps.
And just like that, it will be 5 minutes and almost 45. I want to say 45 just because it's a nice round time number, but 5 minutes 44 left in the clock for St. Peter's, and Canisius are really going to have to struggle here. I don't even know what they opt into. Their tempo, that seems to be the thing I'm criticizing them most for. Just is not able to be on par with St. Peter's right now.
It really isn't. The coordination, I'm sure the communication is there. It's a collegiate squad. Coordination just kind of lacking a little bit. And even their hero picks, it's like frequently they'll pick a full 6, and 5 of them like, yes, absolutely. One of them is just like, maybe you could do this a little bit better. Perhaps that's what showed up here. 5 minutes 45 seconds is an impressive and oppressive, if you're Canisius College, amount of time to have on Temple of Anubis.
And it looks like St. Peter's not even going to be going with any shields. They are going to be going with that sniper you were talking about a little bit earlier. So the opportunity to keep Canisius away at that arm's length. Nope, Ratchet instead going to be opting into the Tracer. I got fooled. Tugboat, don't tell anybody, even though it's on stream. But yeah, Flicka on this Hanzo, I don't think we've seen them on that option so far. I think it's mostly been the Pharah. So maybe an opportunity to see this player shine on a little bit of a different play style.
It all either continues or stops right here for Canisius College. They drop this outside of. Oh, no, excuse me, they need to take both in with time. Sorry, I got the sides mixed up for a second. Ricardo coming under this one, continuing to play that Doomfist performance pretty well. Ratchet following a well-placed headshot on Flicka. Really getting aggressive with it as these two dive tanks is the Nachos, excuse me, the Diva. So, and just the simple fact that St. Peter's can play this so close up front, just again, oppressive.
Yeah, I mean, he said it exactly right. It is a very oppressive style. They're going to take down Nachos, so maybe the opportunity comes for Canisius to go. But even when St. Peter's is on the back foot, on the heel, we're seeing Canisius not able to just keep up with them and just be, despite the fact that nobody has speed.
Yeah, even that Special K takes a pick but does fall. Yes, their spawn room's much closer, but there's no shield tanks here outside of Upstate Stews, Winston Bubble. Now Sellout Squad just cleaning the point up right now with that whole hog. Pull in and more. That Tracer Bomb as well is going to take out Ghost, so it would be a decent stagger. But Canisius coming into this with not one but both of their supports at the very end against a full 6 St. Peter's University squad. Again, just not going to do well for ultimate charge. speaking of, what, you got a lot of players glowing on the side of St. Peter's.
They have quite a few. Half the board is going to be Ricardo looking to initiate with that Meteor Strike, just making sure they don't get too aggressive. But Nacho's on a great start with that Steve self-destruct.
Almost forced to take a different path over the side until Nachos pays for their aggression on that. A punch in from Ricardo is going to net nothing as well. Super low. Nachos down. Ricardo down. That's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're a Canisius College squad member. Now fighting against 4. That transcendence will be done soon, I promise. A nasty purple against Upstate as he comes in swinging with that Primal Rage. Ratchet in the back, almost tags, does not onto Special K right here. A full 6 after both supporters deleted. Canisius has found their foot in the door.
Now we say that, but so far, damage still not out of the wheelhouse of St. Peter's. As we continue to see here, Ricardo just going in and getting a couple kills for their efforts.
Yeah, so now a lone ball on the range right here. Excuse me, Ratchet is back. Continued stall, at least attempted here, which isn't a more. There's the recall as well, now joined by support. They're going to give that one up, and Hunter is actually going to fall, so Canisius College still getting strikes in here, even though their time right now is not as much as St. Peter's. They still have a huge opportunity to take the second point. Getting aggressive with it. Nacho's coming in at this one.
So far, just very slow play coming out from the side of Canisius. I mean, we're seeing these tanks be way separated from their team. Cell Squad able to get a decent hook, but a nice reaction.
Yeah, the bubble down negates any advantage there against a tank anyway. Full 600, not gonna have enough. A minefield placed here in the middle, and everybody opts to split on Canisius College. Not ideal. Ideal. Nacho's now in the back, almost combos. This Tracer does combo with the Tracer in the back. Nacho's getting mega low, but a shot from Hunter and a min temporary pocket gonna be enough to have this ball back at 600.
And I mean, even if you just look at the compositions for these teams, you can tell the different mentalities they have. St. Peter's not concerned with any sort of damage mitigation. They're convinced they can get these kills before the opposing team gets any sort of significant damage out. And I mean, fact proven, Melee Monster taken out of the fight immediately.
Yeah, so a couple misused ultimates there, we'll call them, both sides. Special K fallen, unfortunate, try rocket to the feet, will do that. Upstate, Stu 8, getting really aggressive here. The shot, purple, punch, and hook. Hook doesn't even land. Min, the battle mercy. Getting a headshot in. Love to see it.
Certainly do, unless, I mean, you're a sleeping Winston, you might have a couple qualms about it then, but either way, yeah. St. Peter's still holding firm. I don't think anybody from Canisius has even stepped up in towards that mid archway. Ricardo really trying to use some of the tech here as Doomfist.
What is the Joker meme? It's like me to Winston mains, you get what you deserve. I, as a Lucio man, I've been taken out by a Winston as I'm certain beyond certainties that I'm good. About 10 billion times. And so I shed no tears up here with it, Sir Waltham. Updates too, once again, proving the point here. Doesn't get rewarded for their victories in the back. Got a lot of damage in no picks. Now Ratchet watching chokehold here. Only 2 real ways they can come through it. This Temple of Anubis second point. About 100 seconds left up top, Sir Welcome.
Yeah, and at this point we've just broken into a full deathmatch, team deathmatch style game where players are just trying to get as many frags onto the other side as they can, and if that's the way you're approaching it as Canisius, you have to be set up for disappointment, or at least you have to go in with that expectation. But
little purple action, there you go. So Canisius, at least not playing a bad game of taking advantage of mistakes. That has been Nachos, that's been Ricardo, even Sellout Squad a couple of times. Ratchet taken out by a well-placed Hanzo headshot earlier. Now, this is obviously the optimal performances from your St. Peter's University DPS line. Now, everybody shows up to that indicator up top, do they not?
They certainly do. It's going to be the minefields out just to try to buy a little bit of space, but St. Peter's clears out everybody before it's really a factor.
Yeah, so now Sellout Squad going on over to the Winston for a couple seconds as if they hate Roadhog Ultimate Charge. I'm memeing a little bit, but I have no idea why you would change that. Obviously, didn't have like a full 100 or nothing, but still.
It must have clearly been a Roadhog D-Mech. As we look here, Sellout Squad, continuing to get the damage in. I mean, whatever the swap reasoning was, maybe they thought that they needed to roll out a little bit faster than they actually did. Not going to be affecting the end result of St. Peter's, who are using those mines just to keep everybody tucked in, and even on walkout, just everybody from Canisius explodes.
Flick is done with it. Flicka comes out, dedicates the entire ultimate in, and Min makes that a non-issue. 2 seconds left. 2-1 will be our scoreline on Temple of Anubis. That is Canisius that does not get shut out the entire time. They do take a point here. They do take an offense looking at the defense, but that does not change the fact that the map number 1 was a 0-2 win for the side of St. Peter's University. That's the Peacocks. Map 2 is 0-3. And this one ending a single score differential at 2-1.
Yeah, so, I mean, needless to say, an excellent relative performance coming in from St. Peter's, just ensuring that this match goes entirely their way. And, Tug, as a color caster, sometimes it gets really difficult to say, to break down something that just kind of, unfortunately, is a result of, this team is just a little bit more practiced, a little bit more mechanically skilled. If there's that kind of one factor, or even if it's all the factors that this team is, significantly stronger, and it gets hard to analyze it a little bit at that point. But I do think that Canisius College does have the opportunity to come in here, look at some of this stuff, maybe see that, they're lagging behind on some of these fights. They're not capitalizing on people who are perhaps a bit overexposed or not exposed enough in some instances, and, maybe use that in the future going ahead.
I mean, Canisius, all the parts are there. They just have to construct it in the garage before they take it out for a ride, right? Like, everything is there. Just need to clean up the edges, really. Again, the way that they were able to capitalize on these, like, mega hard overextensions, things that wouldn't happen in a more close game, probably, from St. Peter's, the way they were able to coordinate and capitalize on top of those, outside of, like, the literal in-game situation there, like literally being able to play that cool hand Luke positioning, and then come in, take a pick from a DPS that is otherwise going to pick your backline apart, and then come in and fight a team fight 6-5, which any team is going to be happy about. It's stuff like that. It's them being able to do that. Like, the fact that they can do that shows me that it's just about cleaning up those edges a little bit more, maybe coordinating more, maybe communicating more, watching VODs more. Who knows? I'm just a play-by-play caster out here in my bedroom, right? So whatever it is, I'm sure their coaching staff and more will figure it out. And regardless, at the end of the day, that is just their second loss in 3 weeks after the bye week 1. So there's plenty of time to bring this one back, sir.
Yeah, certainly. And real quick, before we send it off to another break, I do want to give that caveat of, St. Peter's also has to be very careful. They had a very specific mindset, particularly after that third map where they started, getting a little bit heavy-footed. They just started walking around wherever they wanted to. There are going to be teams that you're not going to be able to do that against. And St. Peter's, you might be able to have a little bit of fun with this now, but you need to differentiate when, you can play with your food a little bit more, or when you need to focus on eating it while it's warm.
Exactly. The Peacocks definitely kind of fanning the colors there in game number 2 and number 3. An act that would definitely have turned around and bite them in the tail feathers or something against a different team. But yeah, we are going to try and get a little interview action coming into you guys. If not, the schedule has we have Ratchet. The voices in my head are telling me that it's Ratchet. We'll see if that's true once we come back from a short break. One way or another, though, we'll be facing, I had it written down, we'll be facing RIT and William and Mary. After that, we'll be coming in with a short interview before then. Don't tune away. Hello and welcome back. A little interview action coming at you. Post 3-0 sweep by St. Peter's Peacocks over Canisius College. We got Ratchet down here. Ratchet, you with us?
Hi. Yep, I'm with you.
Gotcha. We're gonna have Sir Waltham ask you a couple questions. They'll throw it on over to me. I'll ask you a couple questions. Then we'll get you on any shout outs that you might have and get you on out of here and back to practicing with the squad.
Yeah.
All right, Ratchet. Now, needless to say, a very fast game, more of a sprint for your side of the field, I'm sure. What was your team's mindset as you were going into this? Was this just another day at the office, or tell us how that goes for you?
So, usually our mindset, um, I'm usually as a teammate personally, I'm the person who brings the team together. Even though I'm a freshman, I'm new to the team. I just joined. We still have some new people, so we have this like completely different synergy now. I heard that some people from last year, they quit. Some stuff happened, so we got new people now, and right now we're still in the progress of working on our synergy, but overall our mindset is sometimes we doze off, to be honest. I'm not gonna say, but I'm the one personally looks like, hey, clear comms, focus, guys. Even though I want to have some fun, we really do have to be serious because it is a competition, and in the end, when we do want to go to the finals, we really do have to be competitive, especially with the teams that we're really looking forward to face.
And you mentioned something that I kind of want to dig into a little bit there, Ratchet. You said that you're a freshman.
Mhm.
It's kind of your role within the team to be that person who kind of brings everybody together, gets them to refocus. What since your team kind of had a rebuilding, it sounds like.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you, getting that camaraderie with your teammates? Was that just kind of something where you guys just all play ranked together, or you hung out outside of, just playing Overwatch? What's that like?
Um, so what we did was, usually we didn't get as much practice as I wanted to personally. I tried to ask if anyone is available to play ranked with me. Of course, I don't really like. I have trouble managing my time and stuff. So usually we have practice schedules that our coach made. And what was the question again?
What's the kind of team bonding experience like for you and your team?
The team bonding experience. Um, Personally for me, I'm really busy, and most of the time our team, usually I'm not there, but our team, I see them, they're always bonding, like not even in game. Most of the time when we bond, it's not even in game. Like I just look at them from a distance, like practicing my other games for my other teams, and I just like feel so left out. But I really do feel like they're amazing people. It's like a great community, and we're more of I guess like we're forming like a family than an actual I guess competition, because we're just more outside of the gaming area.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we love to hear. I love hearing about teams that really have that, that core family feel. I'll pass it on to Tugboat for the last few remaining questions.
Two things. First, the peacock flock. It rhymes. Kind of sounds like that's what I'm hearing. And again, like Sir Waltham said, the stories, relationships that you make here, the memories that you make here, you'll be able to take on for the rest of your days. And I think it's awesome that collegiate esports are really like embracing that. Second, Ratchet, just like me, you talk with your hands. Embrace it, man. It's so much fun. It's so animated. So animated. Lastly, just want to delve into the person a little bit. We talked about like fears, aspirations, dreams off camera. We're not going to do that here. I just wanted you to talk to me a little bit about your collegiate experience, esports wise and otherwise, but as a freshman at St. Peter's University.
So for me personally, I've been gaming Overwatch. I've been playing it ever since like it came out. Dude, it's like I'm like a veteran, but at some points like Overwatch has made a turn up and down, whatever. It's like hard for me to keep track, and then there's other games. I've gone through some tough times these times. But mainly I've been through a lot of people that I played with, that I've gone through with, not even in game but outside of game, like personal stuff, and that really I've actually made like met life changing people in game, and then we've actually become friends. But
Like
in the
who?
end, for Well, I'm gonna have to shout out then, right?
There you go.
So I'm gonna have to shout out my friend. Um, he goes by Blue Tactic or Rose in game. That's when I met him on Blizzard World when it came out.
Mhm.
Ever since then, we were just Genji Anaing, nano blading every time, just streaming together. But I've been through actually a lot of organizations because, um, to be honest, this is like I've been playing for so long where I just like always wanted to be here right now. Like I always wanted to be somewhere like playing with an actual team in a gaming facility. That's actually my dream. Like I always wanted to be in this room where I am right
Yeah.
now, and I'm just like I'm really happy that I have a family. I get to play like with my teammates like right beside me, like physically. And then since I'm a freshman, I just met these people on my team, like this Overwatch team in St. Peter's right now, and I think we have like a bright future ahead of us right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dreams realized over here for Ratchet, sitting up in the St. Peter's University Esports Center. You can hear some of the hardcore gamers outside of sitting near him as well. So that is the gamer sounds. Love to hear it most of the time. Ratchet, I want to thank you for coming on and giving us a minute of your time after the game. You gave us one shout out. You got anything else?
Yeah, I also want to shout out to everyone on my team. Help me. Shout out for my parents for
There you go.
having me, supporting my gaming, paying for my my computer and all of that. And I just, yeah, just I've just been through a lot through gaming and my friends too. Basically, I'm very thankful. In the end, I'm very thankful.
It's certainly been a wild past year and a half, 2 years, or almost or so. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. All right, Ratchet, thank you for coming on and give us a minute of your time after the game. We got to go forth. We got more
Yeah.
matches to be spoken of. Good luck, though. We only have winners in the interview box, so maybe you'll be back.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Sir Waltham, got
Yes.
RIT, William and Mary next. Is that correct?
I believe so. I don't have my notes right in front of me because I'm bad at preparation, but that sounds about right. That sounds like a match that I'd be excited to see if I were a viewer at home, which I hear we have a few of.
Yeah, there you go. It'll be on in just a little bit. Don't tune away. We'll be back with that just as soon as we can.